Good morning, everyone. I got someone there's her face. That's Juniper. Not you. Uh, a cat I adopted in her old age. She's 10 now. She could be 11, I'm not sure. But 10. You like 10? That's a nice even number, right? Don't make me older than I am. She was declawed. And I think that they also took out her, you know how cats like to spray? It's not that common in females, it's more in males. But this one, she loves to phantom spray. I mean, it's a hoot to watch her. Well, anyway, she has no claws in the front. I mean, nails. Right? And so that makes her very, very vulnerable outside. So she's been an indoor cat all her life. The story goes, I think, the story goes, since I'm not 100% sure, I'm not going to say anything here. Someone couldn't keep her for one reason or another. My daughter ended up with her, but she already has three cats, which two of them came with her husband. Yeah, you combine all the animals, right? So she has two dogs, three cats, and this one, uh, yeah, it's not a good idea to have an animal like this around other animals per se, like cats, where she can't defend herself. Huh? Defend herself. Cats do get into it. Huh? So she loves it up here on our top floor. She's the queen. Are you the queen? No, I'm not a queen. Don't say that. That's not God's purpose for me. But she kind of runs the roost. Wait a minute. I'm not a rooster or a chicken either. All right, I got it. Ugh, why do people use all these terms? Which brings me to something. And as I said, we have the door open. It's not like she can't go outside if she wanted to. I think it'd be pretty safe here for her to go and explore a world she's probably never experienced in her whole entire life. Except for the one time, and I shared that too, but I took her down at night, and she did. And I got worried. Ooh, if she goes down in the backyard, what am I gonna do? But she seems to like it up here, stays up here. She has several rooms she can go in and out. Yes, and she's happy with that. Then I have two windows for her. She can sit and watch. Yes. And anytime anything's going on out there, oh, she's right there, jumping up and then, oh, what's going on? What's going on? And she has another one on the other side. And when the weather is all right, I open up the window, right? It has screens on it. I even thought maybe I'll get I don't want her to slither off. Again, she's got no claws in the front. So she could go out on our roof here. It's not that steep, that part right here over the porch, but I mean, I would still be worried that she would slither down the roof. So I was thinking about, I have the perfect cage where she could go in and actually sit out on the roof and just secure it on the outside part of the windowsill. So she could actually, right? Yes? Yeah, I'm thinking of all kinds of things to make life a little more interesting, more like what a cat's life is supposed to be for this poor little girl here. Little. She looks like a lion. Lioness doesn't look like this, but you look like a lion with your mane and your hair and yes, and it's everywhere. Anyway, so, and I know why you are being so loving right now. I haven't fed you yet, have I? Also, due to the fact, most likely, that she had to fight for her food. Also, at the initial place, where there were more cats, she would overeat and then do what? Throw up because of all the hair. That's another thing of, okay. So I'm very conscientious how much I give her to eat, and she always gets a couple of three, maybe four little treats as well in her food, and that's that twice a day. Found an indoor formula, also good for hair, digestion, this and that. And from throwing up 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes it was twice every 2 weeks, to basically once a week, once a month, okay? Once every 2 months is pretty good, isn't it? Yes, it took a little while for I've never had an indoor cat like that. Who the heck has indoor cats? That's so nutty to me. Okay. Yeah, I got it. How people want to live and want to keep things that, in my opinion, just isn't natural. Okay, and this cat was altered by humans to fit what? All right, just saying. Oh, so my son calls. Just real quick. I've been talking about infuse good into, right? Something that's negative. Find that, okay, how do I trump that with goodness? Rather than just go and complain about it, how wrong that is, which it still is, but has it done any good? My son calls this morning. And I love it. All of my children now have their names with their number when they call. Yes. And I requested that. I said, look, if I can't, my eyes don't quite see the number. What number is that? Is that one of my kids or not? Okay, there's a couple of them I definitely recognize. There's a couple of them because they change their numbers every so often, even if it's every 2 to 3 years. Okay, you got me. Who the heck is that? Right? Okay. But if I see their name big enough, yeah, okay. And all of my children now have that. I requested it. You got to don't unknown caller, private caller, all that baloney. I got to see you. Okay? And they have. It's just their first name. It's great. I love it. Okay, all right. So he calls this morning. I'm emailing again. I wasn't wearing my glasses. Oh, yeah, there's my son. Hey, son. Hey, Mom. How are you? He says, I'm rising and shining. And I listened. I'm going, he's rising and shining. And it was just, I loved it. I said, you know what? That is such a poetic way of letting people know how well you're doing. I love that. Let's adopt that now. Adapt to it. Hey, I'm rising and shining. Beautiful, isn't it? To start your day like this? Early phone call from one of your children. Woo! Okay, I said, wow, that's just, wow, I love that. She says, Mom, write it down so I can write a song about it later. He says, even if the sun's not shining and the day is gray. Right? He's rising and shining. All right, something like that. He actually, the way he said it, it rhymes. So where did that go? And I said, I should have written it down. And we started talking about language as well. And something came back to my mind I'd like to share. While I was out watching people play music, I hadn't done that in a long time. Okay, it was my son's band. I told that story. I was standing around the fireplace outside. It was after Christmas, before New Year's. I think I'm right about that. And could have been November. Could have been. Okay, right. Could have been Thanksgiving. I was on the road both times. And we went and watched my son play in a show, and there was a fire pit around outside, and we were standing around it, a few people plus side, and this guy was telling a story about it, and it was a paragraph of maybe 10 sentences or something, And just about every third or fourth word, the F word, right, was stuck in there. And so it's like I'm standing there and going, ugh, does this guy know what he's doing right now? And I thought, how do I diffuse that? How do I make him aware of what he's doing in a way with not offending? People are so used to talking like this, it's like they don't even get it, right? So when he was done, everybody kind of just stood there, and it was interesting the emotions that I got while people were listening to him, and they were all young people too. This was a little bit of an older guy, not quite as old as I am, but going. And these younger people, the emotions that I got were not that of being comfortable in the way that he was talking. So here I'm standing there, and I thought, well, okay. I said, wow. I said, okay, I don't know how many times you just made love through that whole paragraph that you just gave us here. And everybody around kind of chuckled and laughed. And he kind of gave me this look. I'm going, yeah. You see what I just did? The head banging that people have on the side of goodness, righteousness, yeah, and, just offensive, this and that, and they think they're good and righteous too, but okay, really, are you? That is never going to be a solution. So if you are truly a Christian, God-centered, all that jazz, then you're going to have to find ways to communicate with people in a way where God approves, where you become that tool of teaching, where you become that person of goodness. Do you know what I mean? Yes. I said, you think just because you have done this or that or learned and studied and I don't know what, you're done? Then you're done? Then you just know? No, you don't. We continuously, it'll never end to the last day of your life here on earth, have to educate ourselves. What would God do? How would he solve that? And if you're a parent, okay, if you're a parent on the side of goodness, you will never, on purpose, disregard, hurt your children, this or that, I don't know what. Okay? Yes, sometimes you have to ask them to leave. Okay. But anyway, so there it is, right? Yes? Huh? Isn't that cool? Huh? Yes. And how often in the morning do people get up? I gotta go to work. That's not. Here's my son on his way to work. Calls his mom and says, I'm saying, hey, how you doing, son? He's, I'm rising and shining. On his way to work. Wonderful. Beautiful. I love it. Okay. All right. We are in the second book of Chronicles 1. Woo. Oh, I got the family pledge in my hands. Number 1, our family centered on true love pledges to establish the kingdom of God on earth and in heaven, the original ideal of creation, by restoring the original homeland. Yes? Okay. Oh, what's the original homeland? Israel. Always Israel. Okay. No matter where it is around the world. That's why I always say, why did Israel just... Okay, I'm not going to go there. That's how I understand it. Second book of Chronicles 1. King David's son Solomon was now the undisputed ruler of Israel because they killed everybody else. Remember? The bloodshed already started because who else? Which other son of David was... I'm just saying. Okay. Nice start. For the Lord his God had made him a powerful monarch. Oh, God, huh? Okay. He summoned all the army officers and judges to Gibeon, as well as all the political and religious leaders of Israel. Who did he all call? What was all their purpose? If you just army officers and judges, religious leaders and political ones, all to do what? Keep who under control? On what straight and narrow? For what purpose? Yes, right? Yeah? Okay. I'm pointing things out here. Right? And God made him powerful like that for that purpose. There goes Sage. He knows. He carried Jesus. That donkey may just have done so. Or one of his ancestors. I'm just saying. That's a fabulous donkey. Sweetie pie. Very humble, too. Very powerful animal as well. You can go read up on them. He led them up the hill to the old tabernacle constructed by Moses, the Lord's assistant, while he was in the wilderness. That's interesting how they word this here. Where are we at here in the Chronicles? Huh. How far past already all that? Again. There was a latter tabernacle in Jerusalem built by King David for the Ark of God when he removed it from Kiryat Yearim. Remember I asked, there's two of them? Wow, what happened there? The bronze altar made by Bezalel, son of Uri, son of Hur, still stood in front of the old tabernacle, and now Solomon and those he had invited assembled themselves before it as he sacrificed upon it 1,000 burnt offerings to the Lord. That night God appeared to Solomon and told him, "Ask me for anything and I will give it to you." Solomon replied, "O God, you have been so kind and good to my father David, and now you have given me the kingdom. This is all I want, for you have fulfilled your promise to David, my father, and have made him king over a nation as full of people as the earth is full of dust. And yes, sounds to me like David and Solomon are so full of theirself. Now give me wisdom and knowledge to rule them properly, for who is able to govern by himself such a great nation as this one of yours?" God replied, "Because your greatest desire is to help your people, and you haven't asked for personal wealth and honor, we already got all that. And you haven't asked me to curse your enemies, and you haven't asked for a long life, but for wisdom and knowledge to properly guide my people. Yes, I'm giving you the wisdom and knowledge you asked for. And I am also giving you such riches, wealth, and honor as no other king has ever had before you. And there will never again be so great a king in all the world." I don't know. Oh, okay. There was in Asia, China, there was an emperor who had over 20,000 wives and concubines. What was God thinking here? Obviously, but that guy wasn't under God's, really? But this one was with 1,700, what was it? 300 wives and 700 concubines? I'm just saying, I have to bring it up, right? What is this? This is again, hey, Solomon had a dream. God came and talked to him. He did? You know, there is also the thing about kings and queens, especially kings, on how they are put in place by heaven. So they become the sons of heaven, right? So, of course, then you assume that the dreams, this, that they have always mean something really important. Okay, just saying. May I tell you what? Can you get any more full of yourself? Solomon, you are no better than your dad. Full of yourself. Absolutely full of yourself. All right, all right, all right. All right. Is one allowed to say, how am I going to help anyone in spirit world? If one believes in ancestor liberation, restoration, all, are you going to help with lies about them? About what was really going on? Or does the truth first needs to come out before you can start doing what? Huh? All right, just saying. Solomon then left. I just say this was all right, all right, all right. Solomon then left the tabernacle. Okay, glad you had a laugh, they say. Returned down the hill and went back to Jerusalem to rule Israel. He built up a huge force of 1,400 chariots and recruited 12,000 cavalry to guard the cities where the chariots were garaged. Though some, of course, were stationed at Jerusalem near the king. During Solomon's reign, silver and gold were as plentiful in Jerusalem as rocks on the road. Oh, really? And expensive cedar lumber was used like common sycamore. Solomon said, oh, I didn't go and read up on sycamore, what the value was of that there. I think we just found out. Solomon sent horse traders to Egypt to purchase entire herds at wholesale prices. For what? At that time, Egyptian chariots sold for $400 each and horses for $100. Delivered at Jerusalem, many of these were then resold to the kings of the Hittites and Syria. Okay, business. I'm sorry, what? He wants to take care of the people. That's what it just say here. And the first thing we're getting is, oh, he's keeping the economy. That's part of the economy, right? That's not really. Okay, you know what? Whatever. We've already read plenty of all this beforehand. I think we know what's going on here, and it has nothing to do with the good of the people, the peace of the land, or whatever. Okay? Yes? My knee has been... I have a knee that wants to go out again. Yes. Ooh. So have to get my St. John's wort oil out. I'm so tired of talking about this, really, when it comes down to it. If people are not smart enough to kind of realize what really was going on there, for what purpose, and how God was just, again, pulled into it, for what? And that it wasn't really God that was ever elevated in any of it, or that God's position as the father of Israel, really, when it came down to it, right? His position was never really strengthened and made more secure. Whose position was it that found that place? The king. And then anything was fine, right? Yes? Who would go against the king? Yes? Did you ever have to make a very difficult decision to go and talk to a good friend, wanting to be a good friend, a true friend, and say, is there something going on that maybe I need to be aware of when it comes to some things that you may be doing, starting to do, and I'm concerned about? May I ask you about that? Did you ever have to do that? Rather than, well, yeah, we're friends, we're supposed to be really good friends, but to ask, that could be an offensive question. Yeah. Have you started doing drugs again? Or right? Okay. Yeah. Is there something going on in your life that I'm seeing that is going to be destructive? And did you ever have to do that? I've done this many, many, many times in my life, and yes, I've lost some friends. they obviously were not true friends, did not realize what a true friend that I was, were being worried about them. Sadly, I have to say that I was never wrong. When I had a feeling that came over me, or I noticed some things that were suddenly different, and I would say, "Hey, what's going on? What are you doing?" You know, and try to stop them. Yeah, please don't. No, I can't. No, you can't come here with all this or this or that. Okay, just saying. Did you? Are you a true friend out there to people? Are you a proper brother or sister out there to people? Plus, plus, plus. And even when it comes to the people of faith around you, do you call them out? Hey, not quite getting why you're doing this, but aren't we supposed to do better than that? Is this something that you haven't learned, that that is something we're not allowed to do if you are under the umbrella of God? Okay, just saying. Just saying. Or what is more common? Because it requires a heck of a lot less courage, which is, well, okay, not my problem, so, all right, and one doesn't say anything, and then things will start to happen, and it's too late. It's out of control. Whereas, if you're given the chance as a friend to another friend, or in the family, and you're not saying anything, you don't bring it up. Hey, I noticed. You want to talk about it? Can we talk about it? I'm worried about you. Yes. Mm. It takes courage to do that. I can tell you. All right, then you get used to it, and you're just going, you know what? What's the consequence? I'm going to lose someone that I'm dear to, okay, in the past, regardless. Either to whatever they got into, or because I said something, then suddenly it becomes offensive, then they'll pull back or whatever, right? Or maybe get better, but can't forget that you're the one that said something. Okay, just saying. Yes, that can go many different ways. Sadly, there are a lot of roads that lead to certain things. Yes. Which one do we choose? I'm not good at pretending. I said that before. I'm not good at lying either, because I draw from my experiences to teach. And when you're doing that, you can't, lies don't, why would you want to lie? I don't get it why people lie. I don't understand that. And they can be caught so easily in them. That's even more weird to me. And a child, I understand that. Why would adults do that? Yes? Yeah. So, I do that too. Why would you lie about that? That's not true. I know. Right? I got called out on a lie. That's a crime in itself. All right. Yes. That's what I wanted to share this morning. Again, I'm rising and shining. Yes. What a great way to infuse your morning with great positivity, even though, okay, it's morning. You got to go to work. Up, oh, 5 minutes late. This, that. But you're rising and shining. You see? Nice balance. Eventually, it'll just be, I am rising and shining, another great day. Let's go see what God has to do for me out there in the world with everyone around me. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm going to do. That's a good purpose. There you go. Yes? Okay. All right. Sticking with that. And anything else? Like with the guy. Wow, you just made, I don't know how many times you just made love throughout that whole paragraph, but you sure did. him using the F word, right? Well, yeah, I say something. I don't. I walk to talk. I don't just talk to talk. Yeah, you see. But how are we doing it? Got to do it so that the person doesn't just get. I could have said it differently, right? Hey, really? But in this way, it was. Oh, and not only that, but the reaction from everyone around that was quite young as well. I think he might just think twice before. May have. I don't know. Maybe it didn't do any good at all. But at least I said something. In what way? An acceptable way, right? Yes? Okay. Alrighty then. That's all I have to share today. Solomon. Now I'm going to have to deal with you too. Well, you know what? Why don't we just have, you know what? I think what I'll do is with David and his family, we'll just have a family meeting. I don't think this place is big enough. Got to go to the back pasture with them. That's big enough. Okay, just saying, right? Have a family meeting. Get this underway with all of them together because, man, there's just too many of them that need good talking to. All right, all right. God's love and blessings always. May He protect you. And I will talk to you all another time.